In an oft-cited passage, the Santi Nirmochana Sutra, or the sutra that sets free the Buddha's intention, argues that the second turn of the wheel of the doctrine was provisional and surpassed, while the third and final turn alone was definitive and unsurpassed. Dopopa Sherab-Gilton, the great proponent of the distinctively Jonangpa doctrine of extrinsic emptiness, or Shentong, clearly regarded the prajnaparamita teachings to be in some sense definitive too. In his most famous work, Teachings for Mountain Retreat, The Ocean of Certainty,
some hold the Santi Nirmochana Sutra to be of provisional meaning, but this is unreasonable, for such has been neither declared in Scripture, nor is it established by reason, and therefore the sutra in question is of definitive meaning and unobjectionable.
Dopopa's discussion continues.
The second turn is not taught to be of provisional meaning and surpassed, etc., for the reason that it teaches prajnaparamita, but rather because it teaches that which is not intrinsically empty to be intrinsically empty, and for other such reasons. The prajnaparamita that is unborn, unceasing, primordially pacific, etc., is taught in the third turn and in the Vajrayana. But it is taught in these three respective divisions of the teaching, unclearly, clearly, and exceedingly clearly.
In short, Dopopa suggests that the Prajnaparamita Sutras, in their verbal form, do not always clearly articulate the teaching that is in fact their intention, which he variously characterizes as the teaching of Buddha nature, or Tathagata-Garbha, non-dual gnosis, or Advaya Jnana, the Great Seal, or Mahamudra, the absolute thought of enlightenment, or Paramaratthika Bodhicitta, etc., as well as that of emptiness, or Shunyata, reality, or Dharmata, perfection of wisdom, or Prajnaparamita, and so on. Dopopa, however, does not only provide us with such general and idealized accounts of the Prajnaparamita teaching. His view of Prajnaparamita is developed in impressive detail in 4 major commentaries and several short commentarial notes devoted to the prajnaparamita literature. Thus, in a note on the 6th fascicle of the Shatasahasrika, he writes,
"The absolute ground of emptiness is extrinsic emptiness, self-emergent pristine cognition, the changeless absolute, Sugata Gadapa, the great Madhyamaka, the real prajnaparamita, and the culminating secret mantra."
Taranada, who is best known at present for his history of Buddhism in India and for other historical and hagiographical writings. Among the many topics that interested Taranada was the interpretation of his predecessor Dobopa's teaching of extrinsic emptiness and its ramifications for our understanding of the prajnaparamita. Taranada's comments are:
Prajnaparamita is the cognition that realizes the emptiness of the skandhas, but is not itself that emptiness. Thus, it is not intrinsically empty, or rental, but only so in a relative extrinsically empty, or shenton, sense, since it realizes the emptiness of the skandhas. The underlying message of the Heart Sutra is thus taken to be an affirmation of the Jonangpa teaching.
Now, we may ask, just what bearing does this have on the questions raised earlier regarding the interpretation of the second and final turns of the wheel? Taranada himself raises this as a brief afterword following the conclusion of the sutra itself.
Some may object, saying, if this profound sutra belongs among the sutras of the middle term, it's not right to assert that it teaches the Madhyamaka of extrinsic emptiness. Or, if it does teach that, then there's no distinction of relative profundity between the middle and final terms. If such objectors do arrive, here's what you should tell them. The intention of all 3 terms is the Madhyamaka of extrinsic emptiness, or Uma Shenton. Even in the first and middle terms, there are occasionally phrases that teach it literally and clearly. In the final turn, which definitively ascertains the absolute, it is much more clear and extensive than in either the first or middle, and is disclosed there without concealment and taught expansively. Thus, among the 3 terms, there arise qualitative distinctions, while at the same time there is a single intention. So the 2 faults mentioned above do not apply.
For more information on what Jonang Dharma says about the ultimate reality, please visit our website at jonangdharma.org. And if you like our video, Please subscribe and turn on the notification bell.